Hey everybody, it's Viridian, and as you guys see, I have this handy dandy lovely Viridian, or just dark green, this is more of an emerald, headband on, which means you already know makeup is coming along and we're about to get into some serious glam. I just came back from the club from last night. You might even still see some of the eyeliner underneath my eyes, and I just have some thoughts, feelings, and opinions kind of on just some of the conversations I discussed with people, and I'm like, why don't I bring here? Why don't I bring here? I'm going to bring them here. And as well as I have some new products I figured we could try. So let's go have this get ready with me as I get ready for Medusa's and I's Drag Race review show, Charm and Chaos. Anyway, let's block these brows and get on into it. Let's get on getting on, baby. As you see, I look crazy per usual, which means it's time to start painting mama. Of course, I'm always going to start with my foundation like I normally like to do. I was thinking last night as I laid in bed after I got back from the club, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, everybody has a different route to get to the same place, you know? Like everybody gets to from point A to point B some way, shape, or form, and it's very rarely, very seldom the same thing, right? And I've noticed there's kind of people in life who'll take issues with you if you don't get to point B in the exact same way that they do, or you get almost kind of painted as this underdog, or you just aren't seen as an equal. There are people in my life who make me feel as if they don't see me as their equal. I don't knock them for it because I've had this conversation with people. It's, you are the sole person in charge of how you present things to yourself, so at the end of the day, I'm not letting it bother me. Just bother me enough that I bring it up on the channel looking like this, but but yeah, no, there are definitely like people in my life right now that I feel like see me and kind of cast me to the side, almost like an underdog situation a bit, where they just don't see my talents or my capabilities. It doesn't terribly bother me because it's like at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, girly, you underestimate me because I'm not following the same path and drag as you, but like, we'll see who ends up in point B first. And I'm sure everybody who started out in doing drag has felt this way, you know, it's kind of a baby queen's curse, you know, of just not feeling seen. I live out of spite, so the first thing my brain is like, well, now you gotta prove them wrong. And I know I probably just sound like I'm rambling, but it was just like, there were some comments that were said to me that were very backhanded, that at the club, I just kind of went and did my little, but like getting home and I started really thinking about it. And it was just kind of like, okay, diva. Okay, diva. It made me want to just go 10 times harder. So it's like, here I am, early in my day, getting into the full drags mama, because it's like, okay, now I feel like I got a point to prove, you know? I got a point to make. Alright, just a little bit of a break. For my new concealer, I'm gonna try this new Kimchi Chic. This is their, the Most Concealer. This is in their white shade. Usually I use the Danessa Myricks, so I'm super excited to see how this works. So I'm gonna take a little, took a little bit, just draw on here. Let's try this amount. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my beauty blender here and we're going to just start working it in to see how we feel about the coverage and all that. I like it. Which also, I mean, a white concealer by a drag queen, I'm not shocked that it's white. That it works. I mean, I'd be more shocked if it was a white concealer by a drag queen that didn't work. The container feels like it's half empty. Like I really have to squeeze it to get this product out, which not a big fan of that, but okay, go a lot. Ooh, okay, so you can't leave it sitting. Okay, so let's go ahead and blend that here. You can't leave it sitting or else it starts taking, ew. Okay, so you can see if you leave it sitting on your face unblended, it will take off that underlayer there. So just be very, very, very mindful of that. Ew, okay. I like it. When you use it, it has good coverage. When you use it, you really got to be mindful of not leaving it on top of your other products, or else it will take it up and take it out. So before we were using that concealer, and we were kind of just talking about people commenting on you and things like that, I just had this conversation with a good friend too. And I told her in that conversation, I think the key to happiness is to just not overthink it. Don't overthink it. You know, acknowledge it, regardless of what that situation is. Acknowledge that it happened, acknowledged it was said, acknowledged how you feel. That is all important, but girl, do not overthink it. The moment you overthink it, it's a wrap for you. Alright, so to set my face, I'm going to use that new powder I got. This is the Fenty Pro Filter. This is in the shade Lavender. I had multiple sisters recommend this powder to me, so I'm going to try it out. And the lavender, as you guys can see, the lavender is basically white. But even then, with the soft purple cast, I don't mind it, because as you see, foundations tend to go pretty yellow on me. So I don't mind having that extra bit of neutralizing. I always like to start by my eyebrows. One thing about noticing this with this powder is it has a scent to it. I don't want to say baby powder, but it kind of smells like some like old lady kind of powder from back in the day. But it's super soft, it feels fine, like it doesn't feel heavy on my face when I use it at all, which definitely good. Brush off any of that excess. Technically this powder is meant to brighten, but I'm super pale, so that, and I use a lot of white, so it just kind of works for me. I can always add that depth back in with powders, which I plan to. I feel like it has a bit of a blurring effect, which, hey, I like. They say that this lavender powder is amazing for brightening, so we're gonna put that to the test by baking now. Alright, y'all already know the drill. I'm gonna take this down my nose, of course. Liberally apply this in the areas that we'd like to bake. Now I'm gonna go in with this NYX brow pen and just start creating the fake hairs onto my brow. Alrighty, now we can go ahead and start with our eyes. I'm gonna use this color fix. This is Primary Blue by Danessa. So I'm gonna take a little bit, put it in the back of my hand like so, and you already know we're about to trace out that shape of our new eye. So I'm just gonna go, and I'm gonna obviously start with my liner shape first. When I do this, my whole goal is to, when I look straight, for it to look like it's just one wing instead of just straight up like it is. Again, when I do this, I always do a little bit of a curve. See, I already have half of my eye look done already, and that's why I like cream so much. Kind of just to make my way back to that conversation I was just having about not overthinking things. I want to go back to that, because I'm not done yet. I think anyone who used to know me can attest to this. I used to be in my head really bad, especially in Savannah. Especially when I was still living in Savannah, I used to just terribly be in my head, like terribly be in my head. I remember I had some life circumstances, like my house burning down or just losing friends and things like that, and some hard conversations that were had that truly had me like rethinking. I remember in the process for like a good like 2-year sitch where I felt like I was quite literally going crazy, and not even like, yeah, what? Like I legit thought I was like losing my mind. It was like, well, this is about to just be the rest of my life. Like I would wake up, cry, go to bed, cry, go on my lunch break at work, cry, and that was just, it became my normal. I remember moving to Denver. I packed everything I could in my car and just moved out here. I had like $300 to my name. The job wasn't fully secured yet, but I fit what I could in my car, and I moved out to Denver. And I remember halfway to Atlanta, so maybe, no, almost to Atlanta, maybe 3 hours into my drive, I remember I broke down crying, just in full tears. I realized I did it. I moved. I escaped all of my adversities. Not only did I escape it, I also overcame it, and I'm a stronger person than I was before all of it. There's a friend of mine that I used to have, and we had a heart-to-heart, and it wasn't even really a heart-to-heart. It was me crying, and I looked stupid in front of them. And I remember we were having this conversation, and they were just like, I'm a glass half full person, and you're a glass half empty person. And that hit me like Regina George in the school bus. Like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It hit me like a rock in a hard place. You know, it hit me like ultraviolence. It hit me like a kiss. It like devastated me, and it sat with me. And I remember for weeks, for months, I would think about it until when I was on the road to Denver, I decided I'm forever and always going to be a glass half full person as well, and that I'm the sole person in charge of my mood, the way I feel, the way I act, and that I'm going to choose that to have every day be a good day. And since then, every day has been a good day. One of the key things I learned to maintain my happiness is to just not overthink it. A big part of my unhappiness is I overthought everything. Do these people hate me? Do these people want me? Am I valued? Am I wanted? Am I loved? Am I doing a good enough job? Everything was a problem. And I wasn't giving myself the grace or the space to appreciate myself, right? Of course I'm going to be sour. Of course I'm going to be this, because I never allowed myself to have a moment of peace. I always had to be the biggest person ruining my life and blaming it on other people. I hit a point, I was talking to one of my friends who's going through quite a bit at the moment, and I'm over the phone with them, and I'm just listening in real time to them spiraling, and I'm like, hold on, wait, matter of fact, bitch, I really rap. No, no, but like, I was like, wait, do you hear yourself and hear what you're doing? Because they started with the what ifs. And I was like, do you truly hear yourself in this moment, right? Like, you don't know. Quit with the what ifs. Let it go. You don't know, and if you don't know, there's no point in stressing yourself out about it. Just drop it. Life is so much easier when you just stop thinking. It is. And when I stopped thinking, I stopped caring that these people hated me. I stopped caring about what they thought of me. I stopped caring about this, that, the third. Because it's just like, it brings you so much peace. It brings you so much clarity to just not overthink things. And I know everybody's like, well, that's so easy to say. And I get that. Because for I had to hit my rockest of bottoms before I was able to come to this realization as a person as well. It was not something that just came to me naturally. I had to be at a very low place, moving to a brand new city, starting completely over, fitting what I could in my car and just leaving. It got to that point before I could come to this realization. I'm not telling you the road to quit overthinking and the road to mental peace is an easy one, but it's one that should and needs to be made at some point, you know? Life is never going to be easy, so why try to play the easy mode, you know what I mean? Like, especially when it's still not going to be easy for you. Like, be your own biggest motivator. Be the person that you know is going to save you from whatever adversity that you're going through. Because at the end of the day, you can't expect anybody to care for you. You can't expect anybody to care for you, so you gotta be the person that's always there for you. You gotta be that girl, because no one's gonna be that girl for you. And if they are that girl for you, that's not healthy for you or them. So for my under eyes, I'm mixing Blue Sky's this cushion color and Danessa's TW to create this custom super pale baby blue. Going for straight. What I love most about choosing to do a blue instead of a white is I'm not really gonna have to clean much up. Since I've been all over the place a little bit, kind of to wrap up my sentiment, I think what I was wanting to preach is just kind of like, you know, you are the sole person in charge of your life. in where you go. So it's regardless of if people are talking about you, if people don't believe in you, if you don't believe in yourself, you are the sole person who has to keep the lights on in your own house, you know? You're the sole person in charge of you. And so you need to take care of you. You guys need to stop overthinking. You guys need to stop getting in your heads. You guys need to stop worrying about other fucking people. I mean, do you really want to die and you look back at your little life recaps or whatever they decide they do in heaven, you know, like a little NFL recap of your life, and it's spent people pleasing? It's spent worrying about how other people feel about you? Diva, no. Diva, no. Diva, it couldn't be us. Diva, it could not be us. Because over here at this channel, and the divas and the girlies who watch this, we're not that girl. And we won't ever be that girl. Hello. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put on my lips, which I'm going to use the Atomic Lip Lacquer. This is Ruby Shine from House Labs. I'll put on my lashes, I'll be right back. So this is the finished look today. We got a beautiful blue eye to complement our blue bodysuit to go with our silver corset. I'm feeling good, feeling gorgeous, feeling fine, baby. Ooh. With a lovely unstyled wig. I hate it. If you guys were wanting a more in-depth tutorial to this mug, I did post a full tutorial on this earlier. If you're new here, you haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, maybe even hit the bell, go da-ding. It'd be very much appreciated. Again, I just want to thank you guys so much for coming to this channel. It truly means a lot to me. Until next time.